Pokemon Go at E3 with release dates, Frieza hijacks your cell phone, and politicians send voters to a hentai website. Welcome back to Anime News Update. It's been far too long. The Nintendo Treehouse Live press conference at E3 shared more than a handful of details about their upcoming Android and iOS Pokemon game, Pokemon Go. The conference had game devs like Ishihara from the Pokemon Company, Game Freak's composer Masuda, and Nomura from Niantic, more or less the break-off company from Google that does AR games. And of course Miyamoto, that one guy from that one place that what does the Marios and the Zoldas. They were also joined by two closed beta testers from the Pokemon YouTube community, Jay Witz and the competitive player Aaron Cybertron. The conference ran for 44 minutes, and like all E3 events, has an uncomfortable amount of scripting to make sure no one asks any questions someone can't answer. Albeit the event was very informative, so let's go over the bullet points, shall we? First up, Pokemon Go will be out in July, which is surprisingly soon, since that's less than a month away as of recording, but we'll also have an accessory called the Pokemon Go Plus, which is a Bluetooth watch or clip that flashes green when a Pokemon is near you, and will let you try and catch one by pressing the button in the center without looking at your phone. It will flash with rainbow colors if you enslave the little bastard for battle, or will flash red if it lives to roam the E3 show floor for another day. Pokemon Go Plus is up for pre-order right now, ships December 31st, and costs $34.99. And I too will be one of millions of adults shamelessly wearing one of these to work each day. Now, gameplay mechanic wise, it's more on the simple side and meant to be more of a casual game. Instead of leveling up and evolving Pokemon by fighting and training them, you evolve them by feeding them Pokemon-specific candy. The example given was by catching 25 Squirtles, you get 25 Squirtle candies that can be used to turn one of them into a War Turtle, the Pokemon with the useless pointy ears and cold demeanor much like my own. Options like trading and cross-platform play were brought up, but may or may not be added later. The developer Ishihara is quoted as saying, "So when the game first comes out, we really just want people to focus on going on real-life adventures and catching Pokemon. But eventually at some point, we do plan to add some kind of connectivity between Pokemon Go and the main games." He said his design philosophy for mobile games is to start off simple and add more features and content over time as people get used to the game. So if you're looking for a mechanically deep Pokemon game, it's best you stick to your 3DS. It seems to be a much more laid-back game that's really just kind of an excuse to go outside. The Pokemon that you find will also reflect your surroundings and be based on the original 150. Since I live in a big desert, I'm sure I'll see a wide variety in this biome, like Sandshrew and Sandshrew. That won't get old. Not mentioned at the press conference were microtransactions, because those are filthy, dirty words people don't like to hear and can derail the hype train, and we can't have that at E3 now, can we? We'll find out just how nasty they are next month, I guess. That aside, I'm still excited for this. I'm pre-ordering a dorky wristwatch, and I'll have an army of Porygon soldiers on my cell phone, so your argument is invalid. Sometimes search engine companies like to play ball with fan bases. Google's Pokemon Challenge is how Pokemon Go got started after all. From now until July 8th, you can have Frieza hijack your phone for a bit, but you'll need to follow some very specific directions. First up, go to yahoo.co.jp on your smartphone. Unfortunately, this won't work on any other devices, and the only browser I've gotten it to work on is Chrome because reasons. Type in a power level of 530,000 in Japanese characters. I'll provide text and a link below to make it just a bit easier for everyone involved who can't type in Japanese like myself. You won't need to hit search, just paste it in, and if you've done it right, this will happen. You can turn on the translation mode if you like, but it doesn't do its best work per se. Freezer. Earthlings of hello, everyone. The result was I take over. That is some amazing English. My god, it's even the name Goku uses for him in DBZ Abridged.
So are you that Freezer guy?
I am Lord Frieza, yes?
Google Translate butchering aside, this is really cool. That's actually Frieza's real voice actor reading those lines. After he's done talking, you can choose to become allies or defeat him. Choosing defeat him calls on Trunks to cut the screen in half and display a message from Akira Toriyama talking about the upcoming Dragon Ball Super plotline with Goku Black. Then it displays the logo for the Dragon Ball 30th anniversary, and I'll give credit, it's kind of a creative way to celebrate it. Albeit a giant pain in the ass for non-Japanese speakers to play with, but cool nonetheless. Now, what other shite am I talking about this week? Ooh, this one will be fun. Time for a story about politicians, the internet, and anime porn. But first up, I'm by no means any kind of political expert in any way, shape, or form. But I'm also an American, and it's election season. So just like the rest of my countrymen, it's my patriotic duty to pretend I know everything and what's good for people who aren't me until we pick one of two people we hate to run our country into the ground for the next 4 to 8 years, as about a third of us looks at how much it costs to move to Canada, while the rest of us find a way to stop caring until next election. God bless our stupid, broken country.
America is truly a frightening country.
Don't worry, this is far from a political show, and I'll keep it light. But when a story like this drops in my lap, just like ISIS-chan, I can't help but indulge. So anyway, Sharon Engel of the Tea Party is running to be the senator of Nevada, and posted an online newsletter and had print handouts titled The Engel Examiner, in the style of a newspaper. Adorable. I love her sassy pose on the cover. But in the Engel Examiner handout, there's a column called Candidate Comparison. 9 candidate choices and what sets them apart. That seemingly slanders candidates she's not fond of, while talking up ones she likes that won't beat her in the polls. Not exactly untypical of a politician per se, but they are only technically human by the slimmest of margins. But the fun naughty thing is candidate Joe Heck's listed website, joeheck.com, is not Joe Heck's website. That would be drjoeheck.com or heckfornevada.com. Joeheck.com is a hentai website, or more accurately, redirects to a website by the name of cartoonsex.com. And I assure you, what I'm showing you is in fact that website. It just took a lot of work for me to display it without YouTube locking down my channel and stopping me from making more content. Well, intentional or not, this has created a massive backlash from Miss Engel, who has edited the newsletter but can't so much edit the hard copy handouts, and has issued an apology for the printing error, saying that it was due to Heck's campaign changing their website address several times. According to Joe Heck's campaign manager, this is a lie since Heck's only ever used the website domains I mentioned previously. But we'll be generous and let that one slide since Miss Engel's running for senator, and fact-checking, honesty, and humility are far, far outside that job description, unless she really thinks he's running on the platform of introducing Tentacles into all-girl academies all over the state. And in that case, he does have my support. You can try visiting joeheck.com, but as of this recording, the website's been pulled down, with nothing but the words Lawyers United States in the top tab bar, but the domain is up for sale for the generous asking price of $25,000. Truly a charming story for the candidates of the future of Nevada, everybody, and how one of them may not understand how to click on a link she herself typed in to see if it goes to the right website. Something that we should all do in times like these, to see if there's tentacles going inside girls' butts on the other end. God bless America.
Truly a frightening country.